This is home. Twin States News starts right now.
Several businesses and schools taking precautions today to prepare for the storm, many of them closing early and bringing merchandise inside. Twin States News' Jasmine Stevenson went to a local garden center to see how they were preparing.
Many businesses in Meridian have decided to close early today in preparation for the storm. One of those businesses is Al's Gardens and Gifts off of Highway 19.
Probably close around 1 o'clock. We're kind of watching it. They say they're supposed to hit around 2, so we're going to probably close up at 1 so all my employees can get home and get in a safe place before it hits.
Businesses like Al Garden is preparing for the storm by bringing what they can inside. The owner has several different plants, wind chimes, and garden objects that sit outside the business throughout the year. David says he's preparing for the worst.
Getting anything like hanging baskets and stuff all sitting down, putting down on the ground. Windmills, having to get them put down, putting a lot of stuff, anything that could fly away, we're putting up in buildings, anchoring everything down, and just preparing for the worst and praying for the best.
Davis has been through many storms, one of them being so bad that it damaged the tarp and the pipe that helps cover his plants.
Our shade structure has had some damage before. The piping can bend with some powerful wind, so we've had the shade structure bend before.
Twin States News meteorologist tells us that the worst of the storm is likely to hit east of Meridian by 9 o'clock tonight. Jasmine Stevenson, Twin States News, Meridian.
They're picking up the pieces in North and Central Texas and parts of Oklahoma. Hunter Davis tells us this after a series of tornadoes touched down.
Never in a million years how would I have thought we would have gotten hit by a tornado.
Folks in part of Texas and Oklahoma are still assessing the damage on Tuesday, a day after at least 20 possible tornadoes were reported in areas around Austin and Dallas. Dozens of homes, businesses, and other structures were damaged or destroyed. But there were only 4 people injured, officials crediting the Storm Prediction Center for getting the word out quickly, giving folks time to get to shelter before the tornadoes touched down.
There are many people whose lives have been completely disrupted and people who've lost their homes. At the very same time, maybe a miracle also.
One of the hardest hit cities, Jacksboro, northwest of Dallas, where widespread destruction was reported, including significant damage to the high school, with officials saying it's not clear when they'll be able to reopen.
The roof was taken off, walls collapsed. You can see the damage here at our high school gymnasium. This wall was collapsed.
The tornadoes also causing widespread power outages. More than 54,000 customers were still in the dark as of Tuesday morning. Officials are promising a quick recovery, but it won't be easy. Folks in the area say they're used to dangerous weather, but they've never seen anything like this.
It just brought tears to my eyes. It's hard to see that. I've lived here for 15 years. I love this place. And so it was hard.
This storm system is expected to keep bringing rain and thunderstorms throughout the day in Texas and Louisiana. I'm Hunter Davis in Crockett, Texas for Fox Weather.
Today, we're learning about a pedestrian who was hit and killed last night near the 149-mile marker on I-20. Twin States News recently told you about the police department seeking a solution for the highway crossing issue. Since 2019, 4 pedestrians have been killed while trying to cross the interstate. MPD's Sergeant Heather Lubers told Twin States that MDOT's engineers are now looking into the issue. MPD's Criminal Investigation Division is looking for Camion Harris. Authorities say Harris is needed for questioning in an active investigation. If you know the whereabouts of Harris, you're asked to call the Meridian Police Department. This Thursday, the Mississippi Department of Transportation will host its annual Equipment Operations Rodeo. The annual competition and training event is a way to see how employees maintain and enhance their daily operating skills. The event will begin at 8 a.m. at the MDOT District 5 headquarters in Newton. A local church's tradition since 1963 continues today in Meridian. Twin States News' Donisha Branham tells us about how this tradition started and how they're keeping it alive.
It's been 59 years since First Christian Church has been providing the community with homemade biscuits and fried ham. Today they began their annual Kentucky Ham Meal fundraiser. We hear more from Pastor Benson.
This is the 59th annual Kentucky Ham Meal at First Christian Church. We weren't able to do it last year because of the pandemic. Probably the only year that we've missed it. in its 59-year history. So we're real excited to be able to offer it again this year to the community of Meridian, to have them come in and to enjoy breakfast, lunch, or supper this evening, or breakfast and lunch tomorrow.
A church member who has been involved since she joined the church back in 1983 tells us her favorite part about the Kentucky Ham Meal.
Well, there's several things that I really like. One thing is it involves every member of the church if they so desire. So everybody in the church gets involved. We get to see each other in an atmosphere that's unlike Sunday morning atmospheres. We also get to feed people in the community. The
proceeds from the Kentucky Ham goes to 9 different charities, 8 of them local and the other is in Jackson.
Charities that a lot of people would recognize, like Boys and Girls Club, Care Lodge, Love's Kitchen, just to name a few. But the proceeds go to benefit groups within this community that are really making a difference, and that makes me feel good as the pastor of the church. It makes our church feel good as a congregation.
The meal will continue today until 7 p.m. and tomorrow from 6:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. Carryouts are available with a drive-thru on 13th Street. Donisha Branham, Twin States News, Meridian.
Russia keeps up the shelling on city centers and civilians in Ukraine. Alexis McAdams tells us it's forcing thousands of refugees to fight just to survive.
As thousands of people continue to flee from Ukraine, refugee centers like this behind me are set up in nearby Poland to offer those people a helping hand. This comes as Russia continues its invasion.
Mariupol is almost 99% destroyed. The planes drop bombs everywhere. It was horrible and we took a risk and we left.
They are some of the lucky ones who were able to escape as hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians remain trapped in Mariupol. The port city wiped out by weeks of relentless attacks. Everyday people defending the front lines.
They did not expect the Ukrainians to fight back this hard.
Still, Russian troops unleashing a new series of airstrikes across the country.
Every day they bomb 40, 50, 60 times a day. They bomb suburbs and city center. So far, 700 buildings have been destroyed.
This morning, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke to the Pope about the difficult humanitarian situation, then appealed to Italy's parliament for more help.
We are on the brink of survival.
President Biden warns Vladimir Putin may now try to step up the offensive by using biological and chemical weapons.
He's already used chemical weapons in the past, and we should be careful what's about to come.
Something Moscow denies.
The Russian Federation, unlike many Western countries, including the United States, does not engage in banditry on the state level.
President Biden is warning U.S. businesses of possible cyber attacks ahead of his trip to Brussels to meet with NATO leaders. In Krakow, Poland, Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
President Biden's Supreme Court nominee spends her first day taking questions from lawmakers as her Senate confirmation hearing goes into full swing. Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson faces lawmakers today as they get their first chance to question the Supreme Court nominee.
This will be your opportunity to speak.
Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson began hours of questioning at her confirmation hearing on Tuesday. Senate Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin kicked off the 30-minute rounds, highlighting Jackson's experience as a judge and asking about her judicial philosophy.
Would you like to comment at the outset of those who are looking for a label what your position is on judicial philosophy?
Setting aside any personal views, it's very important that judges rule without fear or favor.
Republican senators have promised tough questions regarding Jackson's record on criminal matters, labeling her as soft on crime.
What aspect of your record as a judge do you believe have been the most important?
I don't think that anyone can look at my record and say that it is pointing in one direction.
Jackson will answer questions through Wednesday. On Thursday, the Judiciary Committee will hear from the American Bar Association and other outside witnesses. The White House hopes to garner bipartisan support for Jackson this week. Some GOP senators have expressed openness.
The key issue for any judge being appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court is, will they in fact be even-handed? Will they look at every case before them in a way that is focused on the law?
Democrats hope to wrap up Jackson's confirmation by early April. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
The parents of the alleged Oxford High School shooter, James and Jennifer Crumbley, were in court today for a pretrial hearing. During the hearing, the judge in the case appointed individual attorneys to advise the couple, even though they've elected to be represented by the same attorney. The judge read through her order saying she was required to watch out for each of their rights as individual defendants. The new attorneys will not replace their current representative, but rather communicate with each defendant individually to ensure there's no conflict of interest that could arise from being co-defendants represented by the same lawyer. At the next hearing, the judge will ask the defendants if they want to waive any potential conflict of interest claims, and if so, have them sign a waiver with agreed-upon language by both sides. Russian sanctions are now hurting American farmers.
Some farmers may have purchased a lot or put some fertilizer down last fall, so they might be in great shape, and some might not have put anything on, and they're the ones that it's really going to affect a lot.
How a war an ocean away is leaving American farmers on edge.